1:07 to go to the start of the race out here today for the A category. Another update, too, that we did do with Zwift Community Live Test Labs was that we were going to call all of the racers from each other. So for those of you who saw last week that the racers were not called from each other, that has changed this week. So that was another thing that we did have some feedback about that the riders were concerned about. So we definitely have done that this week as well. So all right, let's jump right on into it, though. It does look like we got 28 have shown up on the day. And again, for those of you who are just jumping in and are first time racing the test labs, make sure that you do go ahead and test things out a little bit. Give it a little bit more go maybe than you would usually, because there is definitely some changes that have taken place in the game in order to perhaps reward a little bit more. Double draft is on, but I think that the chase will most likely not be able to bring it back as quickly. Again, Zwift Community Live Test Labs, all about pushing the platform in the world of racing and esport. Adam Zimmerman, we are seeing, former U.S. national champion for Turbo, has jumped out there, it looks like, as we do get out onto course. Some of the fastest, it looks like, have showed up. Appreciate all you guys jumping in and testing out the action out here today. Interesting to see that Phillips has shown up out here again. Good to see him. And last week was extremely active, as well as Lionel V. Awesome was out there as well, extremely active at the front end of the group, making all the moves. I definitely am expecting some crazy attacks from those guys this week. We're bringing in the social media integration here in just a second. I do know that a lot of you are interacting over there, so we will go ahead and we got a couple of things for login for that. But as we do heading over toward the Autopia Forward Hilly Climb, good to see Mike Davis in the house. It's been a while since I commentated on Mike Davis. Always good to see him in the broadcast. Exciting that Davis is showing up on the day, and we'll be watching out for him for a result perhaps out here today. Kate Veruno for the B category. Good to see her. I'm going to jump on over toward the B category feeds. It looks like the head of it looks like the all women's initiatives is showing up out there today. Good to see her, and we'll definitely be keeping an eye out on course for how things play out. This ex-pro racer, dude, I've been watching out for Kate out here today, as she's extremely strong on the bike. Good to see her showing up for the test labs. Let's go ahead and wait before we head over to the B category, as we are about to hit the first time up to the top of the over the top of the Forward Hilly Climb. Every test, low wattages on this climb, we're being told by Melton Tallow. Good to see him from KRT giving us a little bit of feedback already in game. We'll have to see if that ends up panning out to be true. So the B category has taken off. We're going to jump in with them quickly in just a second. C category is just getting out on course as well. It's going to be 1 minute to the start from now to the start of the D category. But Davis here toward the front, 8 watts per kilogram. Zimmerman now starting to kill it here. Hodges, though, already with a 2-second gap with Aroshea now out of the US of A, starting to try and get onto that deal. It looks like DD Coaching's in there as well with Dan Fleeman. Also riding for Cryogen, I believe, in-game, unless anything has changed. So good to see Fleeman out here hammering away, ex-professional rider for, it looks like, for DD Coaching here now. Turbo now toward the front. Zimmerman here hammering away now. Looks like 500 watts, 183 beats per minute. Adam Zimmerman looking to try and get this break here. Williams now 6.4 watts per kilogram. Really strong out here now, as you can see. Will KRT be looking to chase this down? Looks like Hodges from KRT alongside of Levi is out there, as well as I believe it is going to be Dafford Williams. So that's the 3 from KRT. Billings here looks to be solo from the BRT team here, the Bolt Racing team. They're going to try and hang on to the head of Zimmerman. Coming around now, 1 or 2 RPMs now. We're seeing now from the Vikings here. We got Dog now as well coming out of France now. They're seeing Vikings now back onto the wheel. Aroshea here, 100 meters to go. And this is where it's going to be about the continuance here. Melting Tower looking to hang on out of Canada here for the KRT team. Bergenski now for the BRT here, jumping back onto the wheel. 21 riders have made it onto the top here. Will be Team EN OZ here with Sullivan. It looks like Seabutts is hanging out here as well for his work here. And we'll see if he can get his booty moving. I'm not sure he's going to be hanging on in the group at that speed, but solid ride there for Butts now, as you can see. Back in with the B category. Let's go ahead and see what's happening with them as they head on up over the top of their climb for the first time. Does look like we've got a couple of Zwift employees jumping in here as well. Kate now, 5.9 watts per kilogram. Looking to jump back onto the wheel here at the front now. Looks like Matthew Antino is jumping in here as well. The UK, good to see him and the race here. As we are also seeing Amanda
I've got a ghost
from ShoAir 2020 here. It looks like
I got a feather.
5.9 watts per kilogram, 302 watts here. And we were being told by ShoAir 2020 that we're going to be jumping into the B categories so for the women who are out there looking to race up against some of the pros and see how you match up with them. Jump into that B category next week as they have focused in on that race specifically. Looks like Innovation is here as well. Jay Hay here toward the front of this group. Paulus is in here as well. Shayna Paulus from ShoAir now looking to work together perhaps with her teammates. So good to see a couple of the ShoAir 2020 women in here hammering away and hanging on with the front end of this B group with the men. Orgo now, Innovation now pushing the pace to the front. 154, 345 beats per minute right now. I am seeing a little bit of the chat here coming through over on social media. Good to see here Katie Levi, as well as it looks like Jonathan is in here as well. Good to see Katie saying good luck to everyone. I believe Jonathan's out here hammering away, so she's showing up today perhaps to cheer on Jonathan here. We're seeing LaFrench Zwifter as well saying hello, everybody, giving you guys a good idea of how you do jump on in here with the Twitch chat.
Hey, FYI, way to crush the climb, buddy.
Head on over toward Facebook, Twitch as well as Twitter, and you can add ZQ Live.
It was slow. Still kill my health. Not recovering.
We'll jump in with you in the D category or C category, depending on where you are at for the race out there today. Let's go ahead and jump back in with the C's. They are just getting going out on course here, moving their way toward the top of the first time up at the top of the climb. As we do see, it looks like it will be last week's winner here. It looks like Schorgenhammer here now, R2 out of Germany, trying to get back on terms with the front end. More mud please here coming toward the front here, as well as Steve. But the interesting thing that I do want to see is, well, how are things playing out here in this A category as they do come over the top. Our C category feed here with a little bit of struggle here. We'll see if we can get an update on the
seemed to break really fast when I hit the front of the blob that time.
See Hodges give a little dig and try and break away. It was rewarded.
I might use a ghost up this climb here just to get rid of it.
Back and off toward the front, 2.7 watts per kilogram. Interesting to see what kind of times that they did pull over the top. It is a 143.4 over the top here, coming from Dodd here with the fastest time in the KOM. Now, interesting thing to me will be whether or not those a little bit slower times here and the change.
Someone else pop one.
Will end up with perhaps a little bit less of a chase from the main pack out there. Now, with a few less riders in the A category, though, it will be interesting to see whether or not the less riders though may make it so that the.
I typed in poof, and it was a bad word.
But Davis here gives a little kick, 9 watts per kilogram, immediately gets a gap, as you can see here. It's 1 second now. Vyotsin here, actually, he was being responded to with, it looked like a ghost power up there. And a visibility power up here coming from Vyotsin did get him a little bit of a gap here. Davis looked to have countered it and did do so and grabbed right onto that wheel as soon as he popped up into the racing here. Good to see that ghost power being used to its full advantage here. Daphne Williams now from the KRT team coming over the top of this bit of the climb, just completely strung out at this point. Good to see this, man, as the riders here are really putting the hammer down. We are only 7 minutes into the racing now, and already the gaps are starting to form. Our double draft is on. And that's one thing with the test labs that when it comes to the feedback that we did get from last week, and some of the feedback, most of the feedback did come from some chats that we had with some of the racers, was that riders did feel that they were able to get a break a little bit quicker. And so that's why we did increase the tweaks that we made to try and make it so those breaks would come a little quicker against the pack, but we kept double draft on. We did have some feedback about, oh, it's double draft's fault, that's why things aren't working out, but we're not exactly sure that that's absolutely the factor when it comes to the riders out here. And I believe we may be finding a sweet spot when it does come to double draft, being able to give the riders enough energy and being able to work together when they are in these breakaways, when they are looking to sit in the pack, giving them a little bit more energy to chase things down, giving them a little bit more energy to pull through when it is their turn to pull through. And you do see this break forming a little bit, and the riders here able to hang in there when somebody does take a pull on the front. But it does come on back. It does look like things calm down, though, pretty quickly amongst the riders here. We'll see if it does end up working out exactly how we thought it would amongst these riders out here. But now as we are looking through, Davis coming through with the sprint section as they do head on into
I'm holding on to my feather until the climb.
Essie's out here, and it is still looks like Gags here now. Rider number 20 as they were able to drop off Smith and Sullivan out there. Gags here riding for 3R. I do believe we may have a feed here from Gags out here. As we were looking to bring him in as one of our live riders out here today. Again, if you do want to jump in with our Discord, there will be a link out there.
All right, man.
The groups out there as well. But make sure to jump into the Zwift Community Live Discord. We'll be able to share up your live audio if you do have a team card you are jumping into, and we'd love to make sure that you guys get all the advantages that we're trying to provide here for the Zwift Community Live test lab. But Hodges now, KRT, a little bit of a break. Gensky's there as well. Billings is there. It looks like Fleeman looking to go. Allstring as well. Friend here from DT, it looks like, as well as Gates able to hang on. Lervstein, Zimmerman, Rigby from the TFC, all still able to make this group 20 strong, it looks like. Back in with the B category in just a second.
I'll drop back again.
Looks like a couple of attacks coming through as they do head on over towards the main section. Paulus was able to make this front group, it looks like here. Does have that Queen of the Mountain jersey. Miranda Coker here from Show Air as well. Maybe on the attack, or actually looking to just close down that attack here from our Bachelor now out of the UK. Bachelor looking to get away now, as you can see, with a 5-second gap. Now is here for Vision out of Belgium. Now looking to maybe close that down. 3.8
Don't bother. I won't make the hill.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and give Bachelor a ride on.
Go!
Jersey, it looks like here at 157 beats per minute, calming things right on down. Now remember, all the categories, they have been called from each other this week, so they are able to only see those they are racing against within the category. The B category, they will be averaging under 4 watts per kilogram. 3.2 to 4.0 watts per kilogram is what the B category is supposed to be able to be averaging for the duration of 20 minutes or so. Now on the attack, it will be EF here with that feather power. We're looking to try and walk away. 7.8 watts per kilogram coming from the American now. Nels from Team Vision out of Belgium looking to close that right on down. Not sure that's going to be happening, though, as EF has a solid gap now.
I can get you back. No, you can't. I've got nothing. I can't keep up. You just accelerate away from me.
Out of South Africa looking to jump back on the wheel. We do have a group now, it looks like, of 5.
I can do it, Captain. I can do it. You can do it. I can't. You dropped back before. You probably pulled 7 or 8 watts per kilo. I can't do 3.
So Lewis here coming from 3R, shutting it down with a teammate next to him. It looks like.
How do I get back? Oh, I'm straight out the back on the hill. I guarantee it.
Was Carson.
Okay. I've got nothing. I'm empty. I got enough breakaway. I pulled. That's it. I'm spent. Okay, roger that.
It does look like the two Zwift employees, Matthew Anthony as well as Kate Bruno, working well together. 170 beats per minute here coming from Anthony, trying to shut that down. Chasing down Waterhouse out of New Zealand with an early morning appreciation to Waterhouse for jumping out there today and checking out the test lads. Kate now, solid work there coming from her with a couple of the riders jumping onto the back of the wheel here with Zulu as well as Palmer. Here now looking to close down a 52-second gap. Might be all said and done, but the top 20 they're looking to throw down here at this point. But it is a group of 21 now off the front in this B category now. But C category here, we're going to see if we can get a solid feed. As our feed was a little bit jittery there for a second. Let's see if we can fix that up for everybody here in just a moment. But it does look like at the front of the C category, we're just going to give you guys a radio in about what's happening with them for just a moment. But more mud, please, as well as Svanmos out of Denmark. Steed is there too. 3 riders off the front here in the C category as they are looking to head into the Essies here for their race. And as they do have, it looks like only a 3-second gap over last week's winner. So as the C category makes their way through lap number 1, they will only be doing 3 laps, as well as the D category. They will only be doing 3 laps as well. We'll be getting the D category feed in here as quickly as we possibly can. But now we do have out here a couple of new features with the broadcast as well, with the live tracker as well as results. We'll be bringing those up as quickly as possible too. But Tom Bovary, good to see you in the chat. If you have any questions or comments, make sure to bring them on in over through Facebook chat. We are here to interact with everybody as well as we are heading into our second time up over the top of the climb here. We are being told it's CS4 laps. Interesting to see. Perhaps it was changed up for us. We'll see if we can get that back on over to 3 for the D's in the C category. Maybe that's why we had a little less participation this week, as they were like, it's a little much for us this week. So we'll see if we can bring that back a little bit for the time ranges. But we'll be watching you the entire time there, racing Mike. Mike Zmansky, good to see you in the broadcast as always. And thanks for the shout out this week. We did see your shout out over on the social media feeds there. We're saying that you did love the broadcast and helped you push that much more. And that's exactly what we are here for, all about pushing you guys out on course out there today. So Lurvstein here from the Vikings now. Hodges now 4.9 watts per kilogram. Zimmerman is there still, hanging on steady. Burrito power up now being dropped by the BRT rider, it looks like. Billings here. And Billings here, watch out for this rider. Solid effort from last week. Lurvstein here now looking to push the pace, though, at 6.7 watts per kilogram. 179 beats per minute here coming from him. Gakes here now. Really young, though, with a solid win in real life, I believe it was just last week. We'll see if Young from the Canyon team, Canyon ZCC at the front end here, with Phillips looking to perhaps put some action in at the end of this race. I believe Young of Austin here. So there are 3 here from the Canyon ZCC team, but they've been very patient up to this point. Turbo here going with the power up, though. It is Zimmerman, the solo turbo rider out there today. 7.1 watts per kilogram, looking to create a break. Does get an immediate gap of 2 seconds here now at 8.3 watts per kilogram. And now we are seeing Martin Simmons saying, bye, y'all. Have a good one. See you later, Martin. Have a good day, and thanks a lot for jumping into the race. Hodges now, Gakes not able to close things down, gets a 5-second gap, and this is what we're talking about here. The reward of the breakaway, I believe we are going to be seeing here a lot more out on course, and we are seeing Zimmerman with a solid 8-second gap. And if these riders do not start working together behind, they most likely will not be able to just close this down very easily here. It goes out to 9 seconds now, and we are seeing 48 kilometers per hour, as you can see here, coming from the main pack. Zimmerman now 47 here as it flattens out just a little bit. 46 here from Dodd now. And see, they do need to put in a little bit extra work if they do want to close this down here. 10 seconds it's out to now. And they will not be able to just coast on this downhill to close things down. And that's what this is all about here, being able to use the resources that the riders have to have a little bit more tactics, a little bit more gamification. And by gamification, that does not always mean graphics. A lot of times people think, it's graphics on the screen or some sort of cool CG or something like that. But that's not always what the situation is. A lot of times, in chess, that is a game. And gamification, having the ability to have strategy and having resources at your disposal to use for that strategy, that is gamification as well. And you do see here Zimmerman here taking the risk with his resources, the extra energy that he has from sitting within that group, sitting within that double draft, and then using that and seeing that he can use that against the entire pack to his advantage. Dig Deep Coaching now looking to go across here. Very active racing in this A category. As you can see, Fleeman here with an immediate 5-second gap, and the group unable at this point to use their resources to close this down. Hodges now seeing this as a threat, going at 11 watts per kilogram. Good to see here as Hodges looks to close down this gap, looking to work together with him. Vyostin here letting it go at this point. Interesting to see Gakes now from 3R left and right here. And this is going to be a crucial moment, I believe, out on course here. Here comes an arrow power up. Now that's going to drive the front end of this pack, though, regardless of the watts, though, perhaps. And that is going to most likely bring things back together here. At least the Hounds were here from Melton Tallow. Good to see Melton Tallow in here, as well as Stevie Young jumping onto that wheel from Melton Tallow now. As Brendan here from the KRT here looks to just sit in. It looks like, though, KRT not super interested in closing this down. They did put Hodges into the break, going down to 1.0 watts per kilogram, conserving some energy here at this point, as you can see. And now it's looks like this break might be able to work together, but Zimmerman, the main one, has put the brunt of the work in as they kick into 50, 60 kilometers per hour on the downhill. Billings now 59, 60, now 61 as well, matching the speeds there almost of this front pack here, 63 kilometers per hour, but without the work at the front, we'll see if they can bring it on back. Now the pack still with a lot of riders in there, it still makes sense that on downhills they will gain a little bit of an advantage here, but we'll see if they will be able to work together on the flat. They're going to have to put the work in. The question is, are there enough riders here from teams opposite of those that are in the break at this point? You know, with KRT in the break, they've got a couple in the peloton. They're not going to be willing to work at this point. Team Experimental, nobody in the break. Davis is in there. Rigby from TFC as well. TFC will be looking to chase here. Turbo solo out there today, so nobody in there that's going to be holding things up for them behind the pack here. Deep coaching, though, with Cryogen, nobody in the pack as well to work for them, so it's going to be, I believe, Canyon ZCC most likely going to be looking to shut this down. So back in with the B category, though, they are just heading over the top of their climb, as it is going to be Shayna Powers here from Show Air 2020 hammering away here, looking to close things down with that feather power up. Here again, off the front it looks like, and this is going to be Wetstein as well as Team Cryogen from, it is France, and Jameson here coming out of the US of A for the I thought there was a TFC team, but it's a CRCA kit here now, as you can see. But it does look like a little bit of a break getting off the front here with Lewis from 3R, 4 riders. It's going to be Lewis, Bachelor, Wetstein, as well as Jameson and Team Cryogen all together here now. Wetstein, though, now off the back a little bit. Shayna Powers now taking a turn at the front here. 159 beats per minute. Looks like she's got a couple beats to work with as she rests up and I think she believes at this point that this could come back, so she's not going to be chasing this down too hard, I believe, as they do head on down the other side of the Watopia Healy forward. Now, we do have a breakaway in the C category that we do want to make sure that we do show some images of. Now, again, we're having a little bit of issues here with our feed from the C category. We'll see if we can get this fixed up for all y'all, as our network is being a little bit iffy over our feed here. But there is a breakaway here for more mud, please. It will be T. Steed as well out of, it looks like, Great Britain. Now trying to chase this down. Steed here now, 159 beats per minute here. Steady Eddie, it looks like at this point, but it is going to be Swigger as well as Tidsky. And last week's winner, Schorgenhammer here out of Germany, making a chase. It looks like a solid group of 4 riders here with McDonald, Schorgenhammer, and Tidsky. Now at this point, trying to chase things down. Now again, we have a little couple of issues here with our C category feed, so we will be trying to update as quickly as we possible so that we do not get that lag. So that is what is happening there, just so you guys know. So back in, though, with the front end, it is still 3 seconds, and Canyon here having to put in a huge effort at the front of the pack to chase this down and dragging the pack back almost at this point. Lionel Austin now brings back a few of the riders, but Bergen here from the Vikings team off the back. This is almost unheard of for Bergen to be off the back. Allstring as well, Gates, Melton Tower, they've slept at this point, and I believe Levi and Phillips, this was not dragging the pack back. I think there was a counter attack that we missed when we were on one of the other feeds there, and that counter now has broken this apart. And Gates as well as Friend and Jodensky, it looks like the Vikings have lost out on this, but Lervsing here, the only Viking that's left in there out of Norway. Now, into the climbs here, and this is where the real time gap's going to start opening up as Phillips here starts to make his way to the front. He was dragged up to this group here, it looked like, by Vyazin. Vyazin shut that down for him, and now Canyon CC33 at the front. Now Canyon looking to make this happen, it looks like. Send into a team time trial mode if they are able to get away. That feather power up from Vyazin here, opening up the gaps. Zimmerman from Turbo, knowing the wheels to follow. He's raced with these boys many times before. Hodges now just trying to grab a wheel with that double draft on. Will they be able to make it happen? 3 riders off the front, it looks like, with the Canyons. Look at the setups here. All the purple here now off the front. It's nothing but blue and purple here. Looking, and a little bit of pink maybe in there as well. Turbo, though, shuts it right on down. Billings here as well. Lervsing is still in there, able to close things down. Looks like KG with the ride, keeping it very tight as best as they possibly can, but 6 seconds back to the French rider here now. Dodd unable, it looks like, to hang on to the pace that was just sent here. Bergen here looking to chase things down out in no man's land. We're going to go ahead and give the Viking a ride on. Bergen, we're hearing the feedback. We saw your post on the social media. We're hoping that this week perhaps the double draft did not reward things quite as much, and did reward you for sitting in well, but did not reward the pack quite as much, as it looks like things did break up pretty intensely out there. So again, if you do want to give feedback on the test labs, we will be putting out a forum over on Zwift Power, where you will be able to interact directly with with us there over on zwiftpower.com, and we'll be looking for your feedback and having discussions as well. And we'll be taking the best of the feedback and looking to implement it week in and week out. I know we have done Watopia Hilly Forward 2 times in a row. We wanted to make sure that we did hit up a proper science experiment where you only change one variable.
Would you like some company back there?
As far as
no.
Goes, so we did just change one variable this week to see how things
just right.
It looks like it's working out fairly well to reward the breakaways. A lot of effort, it looks like, to chase down anything from people working together at the front. It does look like team efforts are being well rewarded. We'll see how the riders, though, themselves feel about it. As we did say in the event description, it's all about the experience and the race itself, speaking for itself out there for how things do work out. Back in with the B category, Shayna Powell is here. Amanda Corker has fallen herself off the back here, so we'll go ahead and give her a ride on. She's in the chase group here, looks like top 14 now, trying to chase down the riders up ahead, but perhaps not interested in doing too much work as her teammate Shayna Powell has made this lead group amongst the men here. It looks like Nell's here from Vision. Now, first place for the Belgian rider, 182 beats per minute. 3 are coming through with that arrow power up, and Ferez is in there as well. Good to see Janko Ferez in the broadcast. It's been a long time. Been commentating on this rider since ever I can remember. The first broadcast I think we ever did over on the Nathan Garrett channel. So good to see Ferez out here, and super long time racer amongst us here now. Come on, leave it. Light up that KOM. We're hearing here from Martin Tucker. Good to see you guys still interacting over on the Facebook here, guys, and make sure to do so. We'll bring in your comments or questions. If you do have any questions, let us know. We did notice that Zwift Power does release a little bit extra data. So if you do want to know what we've tweaked, you actually can head over to the event over on zwiftpower.com and check the tags, I believe, and you'll be able to know exactly what we have tweaked a little bit here. So, Nicola, good to see Nicola Kramer from the Director Sportif, owner-manager over at the Showwear 2020 team. Good to see her hanging out in the broadcast. Appreciate the women showing up and hammering out there today. Sitting here in my chair, not riding. I am part of the control group in this scientific experiment on Granite State. So, good to see you jumping in here, and I appreciate it very much. Proper science, I like it here from Nicola. And then it looks like Zhao. So, Zhao, this is Zwift Community Test Labs. Every week, we will be doing a little bit of tweaks to the game as much as we can. Any kind of new releases that are in game that we can do, we are bringing into trying to advance the game as a sport, specifically within community test spaces. So essentially, we're saying, hey, come on out. We're going to make a couple of changes with the events out here and see what happens. If it makes for more entertaining, more exciting, and more fun racing. With the latest campaign from Zwift as well with the marketing there, as we saw, fun is fast. We're trying to make it as fun as we possibly can, as well as tactical and gamey as we possibly can. When we do use that word, it is all about gamification when it comes to tactics, being able to use your abilities against other riders out there on course to get the wins. Racing, it is finished. We're hearing from Andy Parfit here. Good luck to see Andy in here. Only admin can see tags now on ZP. Well, thanks, Matthew. I was wondering about that. Somebody, one of the admins, I believe, that were out there. I think Mr. ZH there, Mr. Zwift Hype, was like, hey, I know what changed. And I was like, I don't know if everybody can see that. But, so, okay, thanks for letting me know. I appreciate that. So if you are an admin, you can see what changed. But let's keep it, then we're going to keep it quiet there a little bit. Now, in the, if you do join in to the races and you do jump onto Zwift Power to the forums, afterwards we'll make sure to create some feedback. If you do jump into there, we will make sure to let you guys know after the fact what we had changed. So you might not know up front what has changed, but if you could jump into the forums and you're part of the test group and you're interacting, we'll let you know what we changed. We do want it to be a little bit of a blind test. Maybe not double blind where it'll, like there's actual placebos and nothing's actually changed. But we don't want to make it a situation where you're getting like confirmation bias around what's actually going on there. So we definitely want to make sure that we are doing it in such a way that you guys test it out and you just race like you normally would, and then from there see if we can spot what the variables are and if they work out here. Hodge is now 1.9 watts per kilogram as he sees he's looking to try and get off the front. 28 minutes into the racing, 143s over the top. you can get an idea of what we have changed, as those times are a solid 10 seconds slower or so than we'd usually see at the front end of the race. Yes, we are watching the Twitch comments. Good to see Reese from Canyon ZCC. We see the team manager over there. Good to see Reese Hammer. Reese, are you racing out there today? We saw you, I believe, in the B category last week. Good to see you hammering away out there last week. But yes, we are definitely watching the comments over here on Twitch as well as YouTube. No problem on the commentary there, Andy. We appreciate you jumping into the broadcast here. Interesting. What kind of tweaks out? Yeah. So for sure, what you do know is that we haven't turned on all offensive power-ups only. None of the defensive power-ups are out there, so the drafting power-up is the main one that we're talking about when it comes to defensive power-ups. So defensive power-ups have been turned off. Only offensive power-ups. Burrito, Ghost power-up is on as well. / invisibility power-up, the arrow power-up, the feather power-up, all on. Only offensive power-ups, though. So let's go ahead, though. We're being told that Canyon ZCC has jumped into the Discord, and we'll see if Reese can have a little bit of a chat. Now, we did not do a test prior to the broadcast whether or not the mics are working really well, but we're definitely going to see if we can get into a chat and see what Reese has to say about how things are going in the racing and what the teams are thinking so far. Make sure that you jump on into the interview on deck. That is an open channel in the Zwift Community Live Discord, and I will go ahead and drag you into the broadcast channel so that you are able to interact with us directly here. But good to see that people are taking advantage of it. If you haven't done so, you haven't jumped into the Discord, there is a link shared over on Zwift Riders as well as Zwift Racers. Jump into the Discord, and we will we will create a team channel for you as well if you do request a team channel, and we'll make sure that your team has a space to hang out in during the broadcasts so that you are able to get some team interviews as well as just have a space that you can interact with your team members out there today. Kate Levi saying, as someone who works in clinical research, I'm loving all the terminology being thrown around. Katie, I saw that post. Hey, Katie Levi, I saw a post, I believe, from you about some awesome career development as well within all of that. I believe I saw something about that. And congratulations as well as, great job out there with the clinical research as well as like the career development. It looks like that you're doing so very cool to see. It's cool. The other thing about Zwift Community Live Test Labs that you'll notice is it is definitely more of a community space. It harkens back to some of the racing we did originally, where it was us hanging out the broadcast, chatting about everybody we kind of know amongst the race community, and it has a definite, like, everybody kind of knows each other within these spaces here, and a little bit of real world interaction as well. So sounds fun. It got my stolen bike.
Are you sure you don't want me to come back there?
No!
I'll be back.
You've got work to do up there.
Good to see you here, Zhao, and I hope to see you in the.
You just sit on and you help the other guys when it comes back together.
As possible. So
they're in their group ahead of me.
You just sit
I
there.
sat on wheels.
You sit there and just do your best. Get your best finish for the team.
Was able to grab onto that attack here. S. Jamison as well as Shayna Paulus here looking to jump onto the.
I'm like 4 minutes behind you, and there's no one near me. Absolutely no point coming back.
But Shayna shuts it.
My legs are totally shot.
Leading the women out here today. It looks like, as we do have Jay Hay here from Innovation. Bachelor now jumping back on the wheels, been very active throughout the race. Lewis there as well. So we're going to go ahead and bring up the Zwift Power results so far. Get an idea of how things have been playing out on course here as the riders have made their way around the course. Who's been doing the brunt of the work amongst the riders? We do look at the live results. If you haven't checked out Zwift Power, you don't know what Zwift Power is, you need to do so, as it is the place for all of the live results out here within the world of Zwift. Now, in the A category, though, we do have a couple of attacks going down here. We do not want to miss these. We're heading into our last lap in just a second, but a lap and a half to go. Phillips on the attack immediately gets a gap here. Up this little bit of a 5% gradient as they do head into the Italian viewers. Dan Fleeman here jumps right onto that attack here. Dan's been absolutely hammering lately here out on Zwift, it looks like here, and he has been involved in all of this high-end racing. Absolutely loves it here. Second career here, Zwift Racing here, coming from Dan Fleeman here now. Levi now jumps right on the wheel, give him a ride on here. Looks looks like Canyon here shutting it down. Vyossi here now as well. Will there be a counterattack is going to be the question here. It looks like Gage still 54 seconds back. Hodges here now as we're seeing 7.4 watts per kilogram, but this main chase group now trying to put in some work here, it looks like. They've been able to keep it within a minute, which is a very valiant effort, actually, as they do have some solid riders in here, but with 55 seconds, not sure that's going to be able to be coming back. Are there counterattacks here? Canyon here with 3 riders in it amongst this group. I'm surprised they're not throwing the kitchen sink here at the rest of this group. They've got the strength in numbers here still for the Canyon team, but everybody's calmed right on down. I think the attacks, you guys, it looks like the way that they have to chase things down just makes everybody look like they're completely just blown up every time they shut down an attack out here. It does look like, now, I don't know if you guys are noticing this, but I mean, I've watched a little bit of Zwift racing, maybe just a tad today, and I am noticing something that the recoveries are much higher. Like, the wattages during these recovery times are much, much lower than usual. It seems like to me, like I'm seeing 1.5, 2.2. Interesting to see here how low the wattages are during these recovery times. It'd be interesting to see if the racers are feeling that as well here. But now, KRT here, double attack here, going into the S's here. Hodges gets a 2-second gap. Levi here, this looks like it was coordinated, as it looks like Hodges gets a little bit of a gap here. Will the KRT team be able to do something with this? Look at the gap is opened up here. Immediately, it looks to be about 10, maybe even 20 meters. You can't, they're just cresting over the top of the climb here. They're on the downhill already. 4 seconds, KRT, can they work together here? Loving the kit setup here as well. Look at these boys in this blue kit now. They've got, are they on the same bike, or are they just using the same disc in the back? Same disc in the back. There's an S-Works here coming from Levi, and then it's going to be the Cervelo S5 here coming from James Hodges now, KRT. 9 seconds, 8 seconds. Dig Deep coaching now, getting a little bit of worried here. It looks like 8 watts per kilogram. Looks to be shutting things down on Canyon here. They know that the Canyon's ECC's got the numbers here, and they're just, it looks like they're almost trying to break Canyon's ECC. Adam Zimmerman knows the wheels to follow. He looks to jump back onto Fleeman's wheel. Austin there as well. Davis, Team Experimental, looking to jump back on the wheel here. Austin here, it's every man for himself, it looks like at this point. Stevie Young, broken now, it looks like. Stevie Young, the sprinter on the team. There, oh, did you see the power-up being used there just a second ago? There was an invisibility power-up, not looking to drag anybody back to the back, it looks like is what was happening there. Will they reappear in just a moment? It looks like there was perhaps a reappearance of a rider there for a second. Where did they go? I think it was Dog here that just used the visibility power-up just for the fun of it, perhaps, and was unable to do much with it here. Levi and Hodges continuing on with their incessant attacks at the front here. 1 second, able to just barely hold on. Now, the reality here, it looks like, is that the riders are just fairly evenly matched. I do not believe the pack is really being too involved in bringing this back. It's just continual attack after attack after attack, and everybody just going, there's just nothing left in the legs at this point to continue on with these attacks here. But Levi here looks like shutting it down, as the break was unable to be successful. This is a force. Look, they're heading into lap number 4 here. Final lap out here today. 27 kilometers in, 36 seconds. 36 minutes of racing done so far. If we go ahead and look over at ZwiftPower.com for what the averages have been so far, 4.5 watts per kilogram has been the average from Billings there, doing the brunt of the work here. It looks like amongst the riders here for the BRT team. Adam Zimmerman out there, 4.3 watts per kilogram coming from them. All fairly even except for Bergenski. It looks like. Has Bergenski actually made this front group, though? I do not believe. No, Bergenski's actually one of the front runners there in the chase group. Stian Lervseen here, 4.3 watts per kilogram. It looks like Davis now, 3.8. Mike Davis, actually, looks to be the KJ's smartest rider in amongst this front group. Has been sitting in a lot, it looks like, at 3.8 watts per kilogram. We do like to look at the Team Experimental rider here right now. They head into their final lap. Will any of these attacks in this final lap work here at this point? They've been trying left and right here. We've got, it looks like, 11 riders in this main group looking for a top 10 here solidified. They're going to have to drop one more off of this main group at this point. But back in with the B category, Shannon Paulus here, Wetstein as well. They were looking to chase down a group that was ahead. It looks like they have done so, actually. Amazing effort here from the riders. There was a breakaway that was looking to succeed, but they were able to do so. It was chased down here. Now the attack here from Nels here, from Team Vision out of Belgium, will be Wettstein here coming out of Switzerland looking to close the gap down, or at least bring it all back together here. As the division rider here now has a 2-second gap, continuing at 190 beats per minute now, 2.6 watts per kilogram, 174 beats per minute. Castro now backing it on off here, 3.5 watts per kilogram behind here. And bringing it all back together, it looks like here now through the SEs here. So let's go ahead and see if we do have anybody on deck here for our interviews. Now, if you do want to jump into an interview and you are in the ZCL Discord, go ahead and jump onto the interview on deck. We'll go ahead and bring you on in if we can, as soon as we possibly can. I do believe Reese was looking to jump in for an interview. If you do want to, jump into the Discord over on and I do believe I do have Reese. We'll see if we can jump in with Reese here right now. And Reese, let's do a test 1 2 over to Reese. How are you there, Reese? Let's see if we can grab him now. And we'll go ahead and we'll jump over here. Reese, are we there? Reese? We got you, I think.
I'm here, yeah.
There we go. We'll turn you up to, I think we're going to need to turn, I'll see if I can turn you up just a tad. But Reese, the riders out there that made the front group, the Canyon ZCC, just so you guys know, we are in with the Canyon ZCC Director Sport Team Manager. And good to see that 3 of the riders have jumped out on course here today. Super tactical race. What are we thinking so far?
Yeah, the guys are just really testing out some different tactics, see how easy it is to get away as a group. So in our own team Discord, we've been chatting about when's the best time to try and go, to try something, see if we can actually get away. Surprise the group by going at the same time. I think we'd just send one person off the front and just see if we can make it stick. Normally it doesn't stick, so we're just trying a few different things with the whole group. And then obviously we're testing out some different tactics with the new power-ups.
Yeah, I think the new power-ups is one of the interesting things, I think, a lot of times for the riders out there. It is something very new. This is probably only the 3rd, maybe 4th time some of the riders have been able to really interact with some of the new power-ups, especially the Ghost power-up, the Burrito power-up. It's definitely thrown a wrench a few times into things. As a director, a team manager who, coaches people through, coaches your riders through the interactions, have you, what's your take on it so far? Have you seen the new power-ups really make a difference in the racing out there?
Definitely. I mean, actually, we were pretty skeptical about the new power-ups, especially the Ghost one. Weren't very happy about it because it's so sneaky. But actually, the guys have been testing it out, and especially Lionel, he's a massive fan of it now. So, I think it just took a few races for us to get used to it and to try it out. And especially after watching Mary Wilkinson use it in the first race of the Zwift Classics to great effect, we were like, okay, this could be a pretty interesting power-up to try. So, and I think we're seeing it a little bit more. At least that's what I felt in last week's race. Seemed to get a lot of feathers on before the hill, and then seemed to get a lot of ghosts on the downhills or through the sprint banner. So I think it's actually made things quite interesting. So I'm quite pleased with the new power-ups, actually.
That is surprising. I mean, up front, we were wondering if, I was pretty critical of the Ghost power-up, to be honest. I was not sure about it. And now it seems to be throwing a little bit more tactics out there. And it's funny that Lionel's like a big fan of it. So interesting to see. We are seeing some attacks here. So, I do want to see if we can jump in with Canyon afterwards. Maybe get Stevie or Lionel or Phillips in for maybe an interview afterwards, especially if they get the W out here today. But 3 riders in the break here. Your hopes are looking pretty good here, Reese, to take the win, it looks like, amongst the riders. I don't want you to tip your hat too much, but, of course, I think Phillips and Young sitting in a little bit and Lionel being the workhorse. It looks like maybe the team tactic out there today.
Yeah, we've got a 2-pronged attack, really, coming into the final. So I don't want to spoil it, but we basically have 2 different cards that we can play. We're probably going to try and play both of them at the same time. So you have to wait and see what that is.
Sounds good, Reese. Well, Reese, thanks a lot for the interview, and we'll try and jump in with you or maybe a couple of your teammates or the team members before the finish, after the finish of the race. Good luck to the team, and thanks for jumping in with us.
My pleasure. Hopefully speak to you after the race. Cheers.
Sounds good. All right, so back in with the racing situation here as it looks like the B category. We'll jump back in with the A's here in just a second as the riders are jumping into their final climb over the top here. It does look like in the B category, Team Cryogen trying to get away here, but it's going to be Zwift. It looks like Espana now on the attack here. It is Manana here now on the front now, but now Cryogen comes across here from the B category. 8.1 watts per kilogram here coming from Cryogen now, as we do see Nels there as well out of Belgium. Paulus here able to follow it here. What a strong rider from Show Air 2020. Racing amongst the women here, it looks like, as well as the men, looking to take the win here amongst both of the genders out on course here right now. But it is going to be Adam Zimmerman in the A category. We're going to jump back in with him for just a moment, as we did see an attack here off the front from Zimmerman. Team Turbo now trying to get away. We were hearing from Reese from Canyon CCC here, letting us know the two-pronged attack most likely going to be thrown down toward the finish. I do believe the sprint, obviously Phillips winning the scratch race in the UK National Championships live event. We've also got Stevie Young. The Python is out there, and we know he can take down a sprint. He's done it in real life recently. We've seen him do it time and again here out on a Zwift. So I have a feeling, if I were a betting man, we're going to see Lionel Biasen on the attack, going through the edge. He's the lighter rider. He's got more of a consistent FTP, maybe perhaps, than some of these, than perhaps Phillips or Young. You know, those two riders, they've got a crazy kick. We'll see how things end up playing out here for them. But I have a feeling we're going to see another attack here coming from Canyon in a moment or two. But I'm watching out for Billings here. We saw an amazing counter last week coming from Billings. We'll see if we can pull it off here again as David Billings, super strong rider out here, and Zwift Community Test Labs was able to take 14th out there last week, but watch out for Billings here. I have a feeling this rider's looking to try and get a little bit of revenge out there today. But Zimmerman here, not waiting for the two-pronged attack. 11 watts per kilogram, grabs a little bit of a gap here over the rest of the riders now. Phillips here shuts it right on down. Maybe going to see a counter here coming from Canyon team here. Fleeman, though, tries to go right on by. It looks like now Jonathan Levi here. The attacks are on. Lang of Vyazin here. 9 watts per kilogram here, though. It's from Fleeman, it looks like. Vyazin looking to jump onto the wheel here, going across. I think it's going to just be a following of the wheels, maybe perhaps from the other Canyon riders here. Zimmerman now does not want to be left in the dust here. 12 watts per kilogram right here coming from Zimmerman. 13 watts per kilogram coming from Zimmerman, knowing that this perhaps is the all-in move as they're heading toward the river. Card here, playing the poker game here, and all game faces here at this point, but it's going to be Lercy. Now, Stevie Young shuts down the teammate perhaps here, though, as it is going to be Lercy. Phillips, though, off the back, just looking to get to an arrow tuck now as he's trying to get back on terms with this group here. 179 beats per minute here coming from Phillips here, and it looks like Lercy out the back, but and Davis corrects now at this point. The pace has just been too much. 7 riders at the front for race number 2 in Zwift Community Live Test Labs, and it's Fleeman on the front here. 3.5 shuts it right on down, and perhaps the two-pronged attack we heard about there from the Canyon team, not going to be going much of anywhere, as the rest of the riders have had something to say about that, using up the resources of the Canyon team to shut them down, or be on the offensive, right? To be, rather than wait for an attack and respond, they're out here looking, saying, no, I'm going to go on the offensive. That is my defense. Make sure you don't have any resources to work with. It looks like that's what Zimmerman has done to the rest of the pack, as well as Dan Fleeman putting down a solid attack heading into this final essence. But I have a feeling, this being the hillier section, of course, we are going to most likely see some attacks coming into here for those who do not want a sprint situation. I think Lionel, if they are able to get him away from the pack, that will be a sit-in tactic for Phillips and Young. They'll just be covering moves, I think, if Vyazin can get away here. Vyazin now 2.2 watts per kilogram, 4.2 watts per kilogram. We're going to need some speed coming in here if he wants to break away, though. And I see exactly what we were thinking here, toward the front of the pack here. Now, Lerstein, though, from the Vikings team here, looking to just cover the moves. It looks like 6.1 watts per kilogram. And the riders, though, they have burnt so much wattage at this point. So many matches burnt. Will they have anything left? Looks like Vyazin says, nope, there's just nothing in the legs. And no, here goes, 11 watts per kilogram. Is it a real attack? No, just looking to maybe egg something out here. Lerstein here from the Vikings team. A little bit of attack here coming from him, it looks like, in that blue and black kit. No, just keeping it steady here at this point. Nobody going anywhere. They're all just looking at each other here. 8 riders on the front now. Nothing but Canyon. 3 Canyon riders here at the back now, just sitting in. Toward the front, it is going to be the Vikings team here in the blue and black. Now it looks like Dawn was able to shut things down. Coming back to them again. This rider out of France has been extremely strong. That's why it's rider strong again, as we do again have that French rider able to close things right on down. Back in with the B category very quickly. There is we'll be making sure to get the sprint here for the B category as well as the C category in just a minute here. The C category is into their final climb as well, as we do have a breakaway here for more mud, please, but it's only 14 seconds off the front for that C category. The B category, though, looking to make a chase here is Team Cryogen as well as Jameson off the front again. 8 seconds. It's not a whole lot to work with, though, here from the B category, and this, again, is a risky move. As Cryogen and Jameson look to try and hold on to another small gap here at this point. Shayna Paulus, though, still able to hang in with Jay from Innovation as well as Nels here. 7 watts per kilogram here coming from Nels. And it looks like it is going to be coming down most likely to a sprint finish again amongst this pack here as they're looking to shut down this attack here that is off the front here. Back in the A categories, they're heading into the final few Ks here out on course. Line of velocity, you're sitting in the 4.4 watts per kilogram. They're soon as well. It looks like Jonathan Levi here now sitting in 3.3, 143 beats per minute. Look at the heart rate on screen here in the upper left-hand corner. 49 minutes racing in so far. It's going to be a little bit over 50 minutes before the finish of this race here, but all the heart rates way down at this point. Actually, Dawson, though, 170 here coming from Lionel. Adam Zimmerman, though, racing. Look at it. It's totally like one of these like cat and mouse situations. Nobody wanting to do the work on the front, just waiting and waiting. Phillips now almost 0 watts per kilogram. I'm not sure I've seen a calmer situation into a finish line out on Zwift here. Phillips here now, as you can see now. Where is the kick? 147 beats per minute. Who's going to go first? These boys really want this, as you can tell. Phillips now starting to lead things out. 11 watts per kilogram. Boston now. It was a ghost power up. It caught them all off guard. They had no idea it was there. And Lionel with 11 watts per kilogram. He grabbed an immediate 5-second gap here, boys and girls. And Lionel perhaps able to pull this off. But Stevie Young maybe pulling his teammate in, but Adam Zimmerman's got 16 watts per kilogram. But there's an aero power up here coming from Stevie Young. Lionel, it looks like unable to hang on, but it's going to be Fleeman. Fleeman with a crazy attack, but no. James Phillips shows us again, time and again, that the man has a kick and comes on through with the aero power up there. Lawson went, but was unable to hang on, but it was his teammate, James Phillips, that was able to grab the W there. And what a result there coming from Phillips. We'll see if we can bring in the replay here in just a minute. Those are going to be preliminary results there, as we saw on camera. We'll have to wait and see for the update from the official results. But what a kick there from James Phillips. Lionel Villasin, though, able to play it pretty cagey ride there, pretty smart there, coming from Villasin, to catch a few of the riders off guard. I have a feeling that what happened there with the riders as well was that he was able to kind of egg out a few of the riders' chase there from that ghost power-up, which was then able to drag the rest of the pack up with Zimmerman's attack, that counter there, made them go a little bit early perhaps, which then was able to drag Phillips up to the perfect timing to go in the last 200 meters. So well-timed sprint there coming from James Phillips there. As we did see the gaps open up very quickly, though, in the sprint. Interesting to see. We did not see this situation where riders were just able to kind of just hang on to a wheel or quickly close things down. As at least from my perception there of the sprint, it definitely changed up a little bit how the sprint played out. Usually it is this large pack that just coalesces.
Amanda's 13th.
Of an attack that does go out there, but it did look like a solid gap did open up for Lionel there. Then the close down from a few of the other teams, and with Cryogen, with Dig Deep coaching, and Dan Fleeman, I think still riding for Cryogen, and then we did see, I believe Zimmerman also involved there with the shutdown of the attack, but it looked like all back together here in the B category though. Shayna Paulus again closes things down. And first place amongst the women out here today, as well as still in it for the win here, it looks like, amongst the men in this B category here. Let's see how this sprint plays out. 172 B.
How you doing?
Coming from Paulus now. 101 RPM spinning for the win. We'll see if she's got a solid kick there. She's also see if she's got an arrow power up for the finish here. It still is a very strong power up here. Obviously out on course. We just saw it win for Phillips there just a moment ago. Now, Paulus toward the front. 171 beats per minute now. Wetstein now sitting in. Jamison going from way out, not looking for a proper sprint, just looking to get away. And now Cryogen making his way to the front, 4.1 watts per kilogram. And there's only a 1 second gap here. Now 7.4 watts per kilogram here from Jamison. Looks like this rider might have walked away with this one as nobody's willing to chase this down. They're all kind of just looking at each other here. Will be Wetstein here as well. Paulus now looking to follow some wheels here. Looks like now Wetstein now 6.4 watts per kilogram coming from him. 3 second gap. Actually, that's going to come back to the finish. 5 meters to go. Where's the arrow power up here? Here comes the feather power up here from one of the riders here, but it looks like it's Jamison still with 4 seconds here, but Team Cryogen starts to go with the feather power up, but only 5 watts per kilogram coming from him. It's still 2 seconds here. Team Cryogen's got 12 watts per kilogram to give. 3 hours now going. Where's the good win going to come from? It looks like it's going to be Cryogen at the line again. Solid result here for Cryogen as Lewis tries to come through, but it's not going to happen. And what a result there for Team Cryogen and the rider coming here out of France. And solid effort here. We'll see for the women where things ended up here with Sheena Paulus. I believe they get still
18, I think.
Of the riders out there today. Now, again, if you do want to jump in, you did do a race just now with us. Jump into the Discord. There are links over on Zwift Riders as well as Zwift Racers. And
I gained 1 place after I got dropped. But only because a guy dragged me. He looked very dodgy. He was blinking in and out, kept disappearing, and he was doing over 4 watts per kilo steady the whole way. I just sat on his wheel, so I didn't really earn it.
Space, like if you're looking for, like, a lot of these teams do have their own Discord, and they are using their own to communicate. But if you do want a team space for a team car within the ZCL Discord,
first climb I stayed on, but I was wrecked after that. I just went deep, and I don't recover. Even when I'm fit, I don't recover well. At the moment, I don't recover at all.
One thing I know that the teams are worried about, and they will be a private channel that you guys will have control over. We'll also get your branding within.
Then I got into a break with Hodges, so I figured I'd take a couple of turns, but obviously we got caught really easily, and I was toast and I got dropped on the S's. I managed to get back on. I think the blob was definitely slower. I've never ridden back on that easily before.
We did see that. It was maybe perhaps a little bit early going with the chase there, but let's see how exactly they're playing out here in this A category. As we are seeing, it looks like Austin here now. Solid effort here coming from him with that ghost power up there, as we saw him go very early with that. Then we do see it looks like from behind here. Zimmerman, look at the kick from Zimmerman. 15 watts per kilogram from Zimmerman, as you can see. But just behind Zimmerman, it was Young who comes on through, dragging the rest of the pack up. Dan Fleeman, I thought Fleeman was going to make it happen here. As you see Fleeman come flying by Stevie Young here, but Phillips still sitting in the wheels. Phillips perfectly times that arrow power, but you see him blast through the rest of the pack, kicks into 14 watts per kilogram in the last 100 meters, actually, distancing himself from the rest of the pack here. It looks like then Phillips across the line, dig deep coaching here, Fleeman able to hang on. Stevie Young across the line, it looks like, for third place, though, so solid effort there all around. Let's go ahead and see if we can bring in do have the C category here. Now, it is going to be a little punchy here. Apologies, you guys, on the feed. We'll see if we can get this fixed up here on the feed for the C category as best as we possibly can. I'm going to jump into interview on deck here with these boys. Team car here. Team car, Phillips, Young, Vossen. What a result there for the team. And Phillips, that was quite the kick at the end. Let's go to Phillips here first. I mean, perfectly timed there in the last 100 meters there with an arrow power up.
Yeah, Youngie said he'd lead it out. He did a sterling job going early, popped his arrow early. So I was expecting him to go, so I knew when the attack was coming. And been popping my arrow a little early the last few races, not realising It's only 15 seconds now, so just held on to it a bit longer, like, and then head down and just went for it. So we were saying that had to make sure we won the sprint because there's 3 of us, and we were very tempted to run through the group with 3K to go. But we just felt that people were bringing the attacks back each time, so we thought we'd back our sprint instead. Lionel had a ghost, so he went tried a ghost, but I think it was a bit late really. He popped it, but yeah, we got the win, so that's the most important thing.
Yeah, so as far as the feedback on the racing goes, how did you guys feel about how things changed up, and did you guys feel that there's a big difference? I mean, obviously the times are a lot longer. Do you guys feel like there is a difference in your ability to break away? Let's go ahead and go. I'm going to go to Lionel on that, as it seemed like he was using a lot of ghost power-ups and was trying to be pretty active toward the front there. If Lionel's got a mic to talk there.
Yeah, I think we still struggle a bit with the ghost to know really when to use it. Definitely we can find during that race that even trying to break away is a bit easier, but it's still so difficult to stay in the front. Even with 4 or 5 strong guys, if the group behind you is larger, it's really difficult. So yeah, we try. In my case, I try just to wait for the final lap, try to cover the move from Dan Freeman, and try to practice the ghost power up for the sprint finish, but still too short.
Yeah, so Stevie, I did see from you also, it looked like a few attacks out there, but waiting for the sprint, it looked like out there today, Young. Also, it looked like a little bit of drag up for, in the last, 200 meters or so. Were you thinking about getting the win, it looked like there? It looked like you did definitely help out Phillips to come back to the wheel, though.
Rat-a-tat-tat the python. To be honest with you, Nate, we wanted to go a lot earlier. We wanted to break away from the group, but credit to the other boys, they seem to just be on it straight away, including, which is unrare to see, or very rare, should I say, to see Zimmerman having a pop and Zimmerman closing moves down. So, yeah, quite rightly, it was down to that sort of last 300-400 meters where you can pay the price for not getting A, your power up right, or B, even starting to wind your sprint up. So the plan was evident with Lionel with a ghost to try and break away a little bit earlier, but with Phillips hitting better numbers than me in the sprint at the minute, it was only fair that I give him a decent target, shall we say, and lead out to drag his arse to the line.
And that seemed to work out just fine. Phillips able to come through with that kick. Classic kick we've seen from him time and time again. Solid result here. We're here, and we actually are getting a couple of the chatters here coming through here. Kim Little with a couple of pythons coming on through, so good to see Kim hanging out in the broadcast. Mike Davis letting us know that hurts so good. It's been a while. I have an awesome inputs to give. Great commentating again. Appreciate that very much, you guys. And Zimmerman's saying I thought all the attacking would give him a Superman power-up. We'll see if we can help out on that side of things to reward attacking a little bit more. Last question before I let you guys go real quickly here. Did you guys feel, I want to know, did you guys, feel that the attacking was rewarded a little bit more, that it was harder to close down gaps within the pack, that the double draft plus a little bit more, effort needed to be put out there in order to close things down? Did you guys sense that? I'll go to Lionel first on that.
Yeah, we saw, we feel it, but in the same times, all the guys react so quickly to every move. That's, I think if people were a bit more hesitating, you can have a big gap really early. But if the guys are every time reacting as quick as they did today, yeah, it's still really difficult. But yeah, we can feel a bit of difference. But still, you need more tactical races and maybe people hesitating, and then you can make a big big gap, I would say.
Yeah, and, so Phillips, the same there. You guys all felt kind of similar there, as far as like just. I mean, is the level just kind of that equal? I mean, it was a smaller group today. It seems like the level is pretty matched, and people are able to close gaps down. But did it feel a little bit more? I don't know. What I was watching looked a lot like real life racing, a little bit more, as far as like the rewards for making attacks and shutting things down.
Yeah, I mean, it was a smaller group, and like you said, I think all the guys are quite evenly matched in that last group. There's 7 or 8 of us left there, all pretty similar. I mean, I felt it a bit easier in the wheels, sat in the main group, in that draft. But like Neil said, like it was so difficult to break away because everyone was straight on it. And when it's a big group, it's really hard to break away. But I think because everyone was a similar level, no one wanted anyone to go, you know, and I think it made it quite entertaining. The racing. There's definitely more attacking going on.
There was definitely a moment where you had to keep pressing to close the gaps 100%. Normally, to close a gap, you can lay the power down and then you can kind of cruise across, if that makes sense. But I felt I had to keep turning the pedals a little bit longer to close that gap. So, answer to your question, Nathan, it was definitely a bit of an eye opener.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, and I sensed that with the riders out there for sure, that there was a little bit more effort had to go out there to bring things back. Let's take a quick look here at the results though, that are up. It looks like here. Let's go ahead and see if we can bring in the right results here. And it looks like James Phillips, solid result here, obviously for Phillips. Fleeman there, right behind. Now I had a question for you guys, real quick. We're looking at the results here on screen, and Fleeman. I mean, this guy, left and right, just him and Zimmerman. I mean, on your radar throughout that race. I mean, obviously KRT got a little bit of a gap at one point and was a threat out there. I mean, was there anybody within that you guys were really following? Obviously KRT involved there, but Zimmerman and Fleeman looked to just be throwing the kitchen sink at you guys.